Hello and welcome. Today we've got Jean Ho, Donald Trump and the Trump family's photographer. And today we are going to be discussing the Trump family and what's happening and all the latest updates, and also Jean Ho's special announcement. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and Jean can choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Jean, thank you for joining me, sir. How are you and what have you been up to?
Oh, Nicholas, first of all, I got to tell you this, because the last time I was on, I really enjoyed speaking with you. So then after that, I'm going back on tour. This is the Reawaken tour with General Flynn. Of course, you know, Eric Trump is there, and Don Jr. just joined the tour. But I'm going to tell you, after the last one we did, man, you have a lot of fans in America, because people came up to me and said, I saw you on Nicholas V, and it was wonderful. So you have a lot of people in the Americas just loving you and loving your program. So I just wanted to let you know that first thing off the bat.
Well, that's amazing, and I'm so honored to provide a platform for those who are being censored to provide truth. And I have no idea what my repertoire is going on in the United States, because I'm here in the UK. I'm just doing my thing, but I'm glad to hear that. I've never been to the States, and I would love to come to the States to meet all of you patriots and be part of this great movement we're in. I feel like I'm really missing out because I'm living in the UK and I need to be in the States, especially in Florida and Texas. So, Jean, I hear that you've had a new announcement that you would like to share with the viewers today. I know you announced it on your Facebook 2 days ago. Why don't you tell us the announcement?
Well, one of the things I did announce it on my Facebook, and I also announced it from the stage at the Reawaken America tour. But George is back, and so this is the publication. Of course, most of us remember JFK Jr. was the editor for, but I am the new editor of George. It's coming back, and we have a great team around us. And so if I could do the plug, it's georgeonline.com. And then from there, you just put in your email, and then we'll give you the updates as we go along. But georgeonline.com. And it's created quite a stir here, at least in the Americas. A lot of people are excited.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations. I can't wait to start reading George and to see what you're going to be editing on there. It's funny because last time I asked you about JFK and you said no comment about that area. And now you're talking to me about JFK. I mean, is there anything you want to tell us? Is there any special intel you want to tell us there?
It was quite fun. It was probably the last time I was on. It was probably the moment that people would talk about. Let me just say something like this. We are taking George into a direction where we are trying to unite America. Now, I know everyone's asking me, and you haven't been the first one. Let me say a blanket comment here with everything, and I'll explain it. And I think once I explain it to you and your audience, they'll be like, okay, I get this, man. Nick, this is a very rhetorical question, but the question is, as a photographer, what was my currency? Like, why did I get in with the Trumps? Why did I do pictures for governors and senators, movie stars, sports stars? Why was I so successful as a photographer? And this is rhetorical, but I'll tell you, because everyone thinks that the answer is, oh, Jean, you have this wonderful eye. You can see things other people can't see. That's not my currency. I'll be honest, Nick, there's literally hundreds of photographers that can do exactly what I do, sometimes even better, but there's a lot of good photographers. It's not that skill. My currency is I keep confidentiality. When I was with the Trumps, I did not have a confidentiality agreement to start off with because I predated him running for president, but I still didn't reveal anything. The reason why I'm so trusted as a photographer is because I get around people, I see many things, and I don't reveal confidentiality. Sometimes it's because I have a confidentiality agreement, so I just say no comment, or sometimes I really just out of who I am. But that's my currency. When I'm done with this, Nicholas, and I hope to run George maybe as an editor for maybe 1 or 2 years, get it started. I'll be honest, Nick, I want to go back. I want to go back to an old life, just being with my family. I might get a job at Walmart. I don't know, but I just want to go back to a normal life. I don't like going on programs. I don't like promoting. I don't like getting attacked. But the one thing I have when I leave here is that people know I don't reveal confidentiality. So if I do decide to go back to becoming a photographer, a presidential photographer or whatever, people that hire me know that I'm not going to talk anything that they don't want me to talk.
Absolutely. And I really respect you for that. And I'm sure the Trump family also respect you very much, for that. And they are very lucky to have you. I don't know if I told you this last time, but I think they're very lucky to have you work for them and know them. And even as a friend, I really feel a very positive energy from you. And you're a very genuine person. And I really appreciate you. Now, would you say that the reason why these confidentialities are in place are because there's an invisible enemy that we're fighting? And do you think that's a lot to do with why these confidentialities are there?
Right, Nicholas, you know this. I mean, what we have going on in America is that people anywhere close in the Trump orbit, anywhere close, they all get attacked. Roger Stone is one of my dear friends. And, what they put Roger Stone, this man should be retired, is not only Trump. He worked for Nixon. He worked for Reagan. Well, I don't even know who else he worked for. But he's a great, accomplished man. And yet, in this time of his life, he's fighting for himself financially. He's getting attacked every day. And it's just really not fair. And so you have a lot of people involved in one thing or another, and they just want to do what is right. And that's what I'm hoping that I can bring to America, is that we can really be united. No matter what you believe, what I believe, we can really, really get along. Nicholas, I adore you as an interviewer because you don't shy away. You don't come at me with softball questions. And that's why I love what you do. And that's your currency to your viewership, that you're not going to go in there and softball it, but you're going to be fair. And that's why I appreciate you. But once you understand that, and once I understand that, then there's a mutual respect. And that's what I believe will happen in America. I believe once people in America see our side of it, I'll be honest, the MAGA side of it. But once we understand that, and we understand, a group of people that don't want guns, I could respect that. I really can. I could respect your opinion on something if it was that you were anti-guns. But let us come together as Americans because we could truly be united.
Absolutely. Now, what? Tell me more about your position as an editor with George. Where are we going with the marketing or with the information or the reputation even? What's the plan?
The plan is to actually put an actual face to all the people in this America, in this movement, even for and against it. I think if people see who really I am in real life, I'll be honest, I know I'm a leader in this movement. I understand that, but I really don't want to be. I just want to go help America the best way I know how, and just go on back to my life the way it was. I really don't, this is not my cup of tea, but I feel like I need to do that. So if people can see the different people that we have in this movement, some of these wonderful people that are basically surrendering their lives or putting it on hold to do what they feel is right, whether you believe it or not. Case in point, General Michael Flynn. He should be retired right now, but he's out there traveling all around the country doing what he believes. Now, there are some other people on the left that are doing certain things. Some of these people that, I'll give you an example. Will Summers from the Daily Beast just contacted me. I'll be honest, the movement, we all know this, on our side doesn't really like Will Summers. I don't know. Maybe that he would be willing to do an interview with us and put a face to it. Maybe I can respect him in this sense, because I really don't know him. Maybe I can respect him in the sense as listen, Will Summers, he's just a guy doing a job. He asks some tough questions. Maybe sometimes he might be fair, might not be, depending on who you are. But maybe if we interview him, and put him in George, maybe people on our side would be like, you know what? He's just doing his job. He's got a job to do. He's just doing it. I don't know. But the thing is, if we could bring the faces of this movement up right in front of people, people will read it, people will watch it, and then by doing so, they can make their own decision, and maybe we can have a better America for it.
Absolutely. Now, can you just explain to us, because George is quite big. I mean, how many readers does George magazine actually have, would you say?
As you know, we are starting from scratch here because we just announced it. So that's why we basically right now are collecting email addresses so that we can tell them when the product is out. But the interesting thing about it is off the hook. We are collecting emails at a rate that I've never seen it. And I have a big following. Like on my TikTok, I get like 1 million views a month just on my TikTok account. And I know I get it. Some people don't like TikTok, but I love being on that platform, and I do very well with it. But I've never seen growth like this with something like with George. And it's because I think it transcends. You have to remember that, wouldn't it be great in America if we can basically unite Americans? And I think the way we do that in America is we just understand what the other side is thinking. Most of us could understand. I believe that people on the other side, if I am for gun rights and someone else is against it, I believe someone could come to me and say, listen, no wonder why you love gun rights. You live in the country, you like a little protection, you like your whatever in your land. And then they could understand me, and then we can move on. I love to disagree. It's just that our country has gotten to a point where we're disagreeing and we hate each other because of it.
Absolutely. No, definitely. Now, I was on your website and I saw, on georgeonline.com and I saw the cover for George. And I remember reading, your Facebook post where you said to watch out at, I think, New York Times Square, I believe, on a billboard. Yeah. Was that right?
Yes.
Tell me, was it this picture? This is what I want to show the viewers this. Was it that?
Yeah, that appeared there. So that was how we introduced it. And it's a beautiful cover.
Amazing. And how big was this billboard? I mean, what kind of marketing are we looking at here?
It was on the corner of 1500 Broadway. You have to get that right. You could go there now and see it. It's beautiful. So, we are excited about this project, and it's something that I feel like it's important in America to have, and then everyone should get behind it. I think it's good.
That is huge. Now, what happens to the public in New York, which is, I believe, a democratic, a liberal state, where people are watching Trump on a massive billboard like that with Scott McKay, which is great, by the way. I love Scott McKay interview. I mean, what type of, how much power is that to wake up the public who are watching that, who are then going to go and watch that interview? Right. Of course, they're in a democratic state.
Yeah, and Nicholas, and I appreciate, because you're in the UK, and let me explain to you what's going on in America. And I mean this with all due respect to Joe Biden, all due respect. What has made our country more united is Joe Biden. The reason being is, whether it is or not, people here in America blame him for $5 a gallon gas. And I don't know what it translates to the UK, but when I fill up my tank and I'm traveling, it's an equal cost to fill up my tank or stay at a hotel for the night. So if I have to travel 800 miles and I have to fill up my tank twice, it costs double the hotel. And normally that should never be the case. So whether or not it is Joe Biden's fault or not, people in America, both Republicans, conservatives, liberals, Democrats, they're all blaming one person, Joe Biden. They even have, I don't know if they have these little stickers. I don't know if you saw them, like I did that. People put them on the gas tanks, but that, oddly enough, is uniting Americans. And people are saying now, a lot of people, you know what? I hated Donald Trump, but he did a pretty good job when he was president. So I think I want him back. And that's what's going on. I think I said last time in your show, which was really interesting, I said last time that when I went to California, which you would think is the most liberal place, and it is, people didn't care that I was walking around with MAGA gear on. It's a different mindset now. So hopefully, whether a person likes Donald Trump or not, hopefully people will say, you know what, we don't care. We're fighting about stupid things. We just want to live our lives, and we want a good economy and just people to get along.
Absolutely. You know, I always said that the best thing that Biden has done is his stupidity and his terrible, strategies on the economy has woken up the sheep, the people, the sheep, whatever you want to call them.
Hey.
So you were going to say something?
No, I just love it. Yeah, yeah. There are sheeps, but these sheep, I'm telling you, they have banded together and they are fighting together. You have to say, by the way, every time you say fight, you have to say, figuratively fighting. Otherwise, they'll catch you on that. But really quick, and I'll interrupt and then go back. Jesus said that he would leave the 99 sheep, and then he would go out to search for the one lost. And in the meantime, those 99 sheep were without a shepherd. So I'm just guessing, and I know it's just a parable, but the sheep, when they don't have the shepherd around, will band together and they will huddle together and they'll fight together. And that's what you've seen. And again, I'm a very peaceful man. I'm talking about figuratively fight, but the sheep will band together. And then they, in the absence of their shepherd, they will fight.
Absolutely. And they will eventually. Sheep no more, because it's truly where we go one, we go all is a real thing. And I really believe that. I know it sounds cheesy. We've said it so many times, but we are one. We are humanity. We are consciousness of beings of love. And we're about to rise and take back that power, Now, last time when we done an interview, and I really, really respect you for this, I asked you many questions. And you said, Nicholas, I don't like to speculate, you said. I like to talk about things that I'm 100% about, okay? And credibility is everything. And one of the things that you said that I loved, that you were 100% about, was that Donald Trump is going to return as president of the United States. Now, do you have any updates with that?
You know what? It's interesting because this is something that I just feel from the bottom of my heart. And the reason being is of this man. His name is Kim Clement. He's a prophet. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I have.
But he prophesied 2 terms. I am banking everything on what that person says, Kim Clement, because I believe that what he says is true. Now, I get it because no one knows the future, at least not us here. But the thing with it is I see the direction of what's going on in America leaning towards that. At the very least, I believe that he will run for president and win in 2024. Now, is there a secret part of me that thinks that somehow he's going to be reinstated and somehow he's going to be back before then? I do. And I could explain to people my general reasonings of how that might happen and so forth. But at the same time, I really do believe that Donald Trump is going to be back. And it's sometimes people just have faith in things. I believe in what this prophet Kim Clement said. I believe that he's a true prophet. And he's the one that predicted in the first place, which is more unlikely, that he would be president of the United States. He predicted that, I think, in 2004. I'm not sure when, but that was even a crazier prediction. So this is the prediction of 2 terms is not that crazy.
Absolutely. And then he said in his prophecy, he said something, don't you worry if there are 2 presidencies at the same time or something like that. There will be a duo presidency and you shall not worry. I remember him saying that. And that's duo presidency. I mean, one for, Congress and one for the Constitution, which is Donald Trump. We know he stands by, the Constitution and human rights, God's laws. So I heard from a source that since the 2020 event, the November the 3rd event that, was taken away that event that was taken away and Biden got in to be descriptive, because AI on YouTube doesn't understand description or concepts. I heard that since then, a lot of the things that have been going on in the mainstream media was a distraction, but not for the public, but more to distract the mainstream media, to keep them away from what's really going on in the background. And in the background, meaning that the white hats have been giving in, discreetly evidence of the steal to SCOTUS. And they've already decided. I'm so sorry if my camera keeps blurring. So I heard that they've accepted the decision, and they've made the decision that they are going to reinstall Mr. T. We don't know when. I even see now his Air Force One or another airplane being built that he uploaded actually himself, the president. When you put these pieces together, what do you see is going on? What do you think is going on? And also, what have you heard that you can share with us if it's not confidential?
Right. A very not viewed, I guess, article that's not been widely shared is an article from Newsweek where they interviewed one of the Trump photographers in the past. And this was interesting because the idea behind it is that 3 states, their state governments, would decertify the election and then bring it to the Congress. But the Congress, after 2022, the midterm election. I believe a lot of this hinges on the election in 2022, well, just about 3 months from now, I believe. But we believe, or a lot of people believe, that it's going to be a clean sweep, that the Republicans are going to win back the Congress and the Senate. I'll be honest. If it doesn't happen and that the Democrats win it both, maybe we're all wrong about this. But I believe that the control of the Congress and the Senate is going to go back to the Republicans. And Donald Trump has been very busy working to take the Republicans that he's leading into that. So when they do get in, they will be a Republican Congress led by Donald Trump, because they are the ones that he has worked with, and they're the ones that they feel comfortable with. So I think there's some good things happening, and I do get it. Trust me, Nicholas, I love at night going on YouTube. I love watching all I only like to use the word conspiracy theories, but the different thoughts that people have. And I always play them out in my mind. And I say, that might work, that might not work. For example, really quick, it's not a conspiracy, but it was Roger Stone, my friend, who brought out the fact that, hey, you know what? It's actually possible to get the Congress back and the Senate back and then vote Trump back as Speaker of the House, impeach the president and the vice president, and then he's president. I mean, does that work? That absolutely, that's the law. It does work. Is it likely? I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to be so easy for the Republican Congress to say, hey, you know what? Let's give all this power. Let's do this. You have to have a lot of people moving in the same direction for that to happen. But I enjoy listening to all these things.
Absolutely. It's very interesting. Now, what do you think about Baron Trump? I mean, I really think that he's going to play a significant role in the future. Where do you see him?
This goes back to my statement early in the program with confidentiality and everything. I saw Baron Trump with his dad when he was a young boy. And, the thing with that is I never, said anything negative, and I'm not. And I believe he's a wonderful young man. But right now, he is choosing as a young man, or the Trumps are choosing for him to be not public. And I totally get that. Like I have young children too, and I know he's older. He's very tall, but I don't comment on anything having to do with Barron, because right now I know what it's like to have a private life. And I really wish, to be honest, that I was still a private person, but I didn't know that I got thrown into this, and there's not going to be the case for now. So hopefully America could unite, and then they would just like, we could all work together, and then it'll be a better place. And then I could just, I'm not joking. I would get a job at Walmart or Food Lion or whatever, just to be a regular person for a while. I have no problem with that.
Absolutely. Now, how about Melania or the other members of the Trump? Do you see them being part of government in the future, moving forward in the new system, possibly?
Right. Out of all of them, there would not be a better person that would be suited for politics than Laura Trump. Out of all the Trumps, I probably know her the best. She has been very kind to me, has invited me out to Trump Towers, and I'm still friends with her to this day. There was whispers that she would run for Senate before. She decided not to, or made an announcement that it was not the time. But out of all the Trumps, Laura Trump is a leader. I'm fond of everybody, all of them, but especially Laura Trump. She's particularly smart, and she knows how to build coalitions and work with people. I could tell you this, and this is a good thing, that most of the MAGA influencers in the circuit all love and adore Laura. She was the person that they went to if they had certain complaints. She was the person that they would go, and she would listen to them. She's wonderful.
Absolutely. Sounds very good. Now, I wanted to ask you one last question, and that's, do you think that you could arrange an interview between myself and the President Trump?
How about this? I'll give it a try. I'm telling you, I will give it a try. You know, as you know, Donald Trump marches to his own beat, and he while he does listen to people, he makes it the final decision. But you know, one of the things I can say about Donald Trump, and I know you're a good person. He likes people that are fair. He doesn't like he does like them. Excuse me. He likes people that, you know, gives fair interviews, and of course, he likes people that are on his side that can give him good questions. But he said this, and I'll never forget it. He said, "I don't mind tough questions as long as they're fair." And that's where I'll be honest, Nicholas. I know that is your calling card. I mean, you come in there and you ask good questions, but you ask the questions that you're like very Trump-like. You say, "Well, what does my viewers want to ask this person?" And then you ask it, even though it may be tough or awkward at times. But that's why I've always appreciated you.
Well, I really appreciate it.
I'll be bragging about you. They love you in America. They really do.
Well, I'm so glad. You know, it'll be an honor to interview President Trump. I have so many questions, actually, factual questions that I would pull him up from his previous interviews, especially one he had with his son and others. And I would use facts to bounce those back, you know, to him as counter questions, and you know, especially with the answers that he gave as well. So it's very interesting. I think I could do a really good job with an interview, and it would have to be face-to-face, by the way. I just wanted to let you know that. Well, Gene Ho, it's been an absolute honor to have you once again. Thank you so much. And congratulations on, you know, being an editor on George magazine. I can't wait to read more about it.
By the way, just so you know, we call it George. Just George. That was the original how it was, and that's the I guess the title that we were allowed to use for it is just George, not George Magazine, not another wonderful publication. I think it's George News, not George anything, just George.
Just George.
Yep.
Thank you for, at least I know. Thank you very much for correcting me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
You know what? It is the news sources like you, and I'm giving you a shout out, that people want, because now people will put a face to me, and then no matter what people say, they say, "Hey, I just saw him." That's what you are doing is what I would like to do in America. Just show people's faces, ask them good questions, and let the people decide.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, and for all your hard work, Gene, and we'll speak very soon, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.